Hi, it's Sunday, and today I'm going to talk a little about the anger that's a part of anxiety. This is another one of the things that's often hidden from us, partly because we have sort of very, in my opinion, peculiar cultural ideas about anger. A lot of times in Western European culture, we talk about anger as seeing red, and yet in Chinese culture, red is the color of happiness, of vibrance. It's used a lot in feng shui to bring in good, vibrant energy. So, what's the deal with that? Why is there such a cultural difference between the two? And why, even in Western European culture, women wear red dresses to, be powerful and stand out? What's the contrast about? Well, here's my working postulate on that one. It's that anger is just a narrow part of the spectrum of what I would call red energy. For those of you who are into chakras, that would be like the base chakra. It's your basic physical vitality. It's the basic physical vitality of all physical things, actually. So that encompasses a lot of range. And indeed, anger can be part of that range. It's just that in our culture, it seems to me that we make that the only part of red energy that we tend to express is sort of anger and force and stuff like that. We narrow down our possibilities to this very tiny area. And I think that when we are anxious, and anger is a part of that anxiety, which I think it almost invariably is, it's that resentful kind of flavor of anger because it's about, like, why am I in this position? Why is this happening to me? And, I know that none of us likes to feel that we be in that position, but, sometimes we just are because life is not under our complete control. And that is something that's very difficult for us to accept because basically Western European culture is all about being a control freak. But it does not work very well. And if you look around the world or even just your own community, you can see that it doesn't. So, what is it about this anger that we would want to call up when we're anxious? Well, it's because anger has that vital life force in it. And when we're anxious, we really want more of that vital life force. That's really what we're looking for. But we're just, in my opinion, we're plugging into the wrong place to get it. Where it really comes from is remembering our connections with all of nature and all of that which created nature. So, in a sense, being that anger that underruns a lot of anxiety is a kind of opening or call to something that actually would be healing, but we don't really know where to go for it because our culture has taught us that, well, okay, if we want this vitality, then it's anger. And anger does feel a little better than despair, which is the other place we can go to when we're anxious. We can just slide back into depression and helplessness. So anger does feel a little bit better than that. And I think that's one of the reasons why we worry. And we're one of the reasons why there is a certain amount of resentful anger in that anxiety and worry. So I'm going to do a short healing for that flavor of anger here, just to give you a taste of what an alternative might be. And also, I'm hoping that my words, which really come through me in these situations and not exactly from me, I certainly flavor them with all the things in my brain and my experience, but these concepts have been very freeing for me and continue to be. So you might want to consider them and see, experiment with them. Like, I'm not trying to tell you I'm giving you the gospel truth, but I am opening up a possibility for you. And that's what I'm going to do right now with the silent healing. So, as usual, I'll be shutting my eyes. You can keep yours open or shut. I will be doing the healing silently. So, it's not an action film. And here we go. Okay, so again, as I've mentioned with other healings that I do, anger is a many layered thing. It's also has a real tendency to get worked into a lot of our habits, so we have to kind of open them up and allow it to flow out. So, this healing will probably not solve absolutely every anger problem you have, but I think that if you check in with your feelings, with your thoughts right now, you will find that they are different than they were when I started the healing. Sometimes we even get physical sensations or even feel the air or the atmosphere or the room around us change. I know that sounds bizarre, but feelings are what they are, and those are some of the reactions that people have, the responses. So just check in and feel how that feels to you. And consider opening to new possibilities for places to allow what you think of as anger to flow. Consider opening to that really wonderful vitality that's available to us in that red energy. In my next video, I will be talking about how to get into understanding how to relieve your anxiety, but more importantly, practicing how to relieve your anxiety. Because quite honestly, you can have all of the intellectual understanding in the world, but if you don't practice what you understand, then nothing happens. Sorry. You might get a brief burst of glory, but that's about it. So next time, I'll be talking a little bit about how to get that practice into your life more firmly and more thoroughly. It's been nice. See you the next time.